And now, time for weekly show with a passionate India lover, chairman of ITV Gold and Parikh Worldwide Media. Get ready for loving sharing from physician, philanthropist, publisher, and India advocate in this week.
Namaskar and welcome, and once again it's that time of the week when we have the honor of welcoming Padma Shri recipient Dr. Sudhir Parikh for our weekly show this week with Dr. Sudhir Parikh right here on ITV Gold. Namaskar, Dr. Parikh.
Namaskar everyone.
So, Dr. Parikh, let's start with the biggest news from last week is the sad killings of 26 tourists by terrorists in Pahalgam, Kashmir. So tell me, there have been many vigils going on, many prayer events this weekend. I want to know your comments on all that.
Well, I think it was very unfortunate, very sad event happened. I mean, the killing of the innocent tourists, those who were visiting and enjoying the Kashmir, beauty of the Kashmir area. And this terrorists came and then they killed very more or less like a genocide, because they asked their religion and then shoot that person. So I think that is very, very unacceptable. It should be strongly condemned and it should not happen anytime. We must make sure that we must track those terrorists down, identify them, punish them, and harshest way punish them, and not only them but also the people our organization who supported them to do this thing should be punished very strongly, very harshly. Even killing them is not exaggeration. So that's only way you can bring the closer to this thing. And of course, in going forward, the government has to beef up that whole security there. They have to have more military personnel around that. And because see, if you are going to, I went to Egypt many years ago, 20 years ago. Every bus has two military person accompanied us, because that time there was, if you remember, 100 Japanese were killed when they were visiting Egypt, pyramids. So I think we have to do such a strong protection for the people. And
but
then,
my
of course,
question is, Doctor, do you feel like safe when you still have that kind of a protection with you? Do you really feel safe still?
No, you don't feel safe, but eventually, see, you have to move forward. You have to open up the area. People will. This will kind of bring the Kashmir back to another 5-10 years, and people are afraid to now go back again there in near future. But eventually, people will go back, right? And when people will go back, they have to have better security than what we had this time. So that because that's the way it should be protected, certain area of the country, which is very kind of sensitive area of the country.
But do you think tourists right now, they have been going there?
No,
I don't know, even after this, some of the places have been closed and sealed right now. But do you think even in 3 years or 4 years, it's going to come back to being normal again, or no, it will take now again,
No,
some good time?
I would hope that in 3-4 years normalcy should return. It all depends upon how government makes us to feel safe there. If government makes us to feel safe there, of course it will come back. Because as long as people, tourists knows, or people, those who visit there know, not only for only tourists, but even people, those who live there, for them also security is very important.
Right.
Because they are part of now they are Indian citizens, and they are part of the India, and they are also equally vulnerable to any kind of a terrorist attack. So it should be security has to be beefed up and make it let people know that it's okay to go back, not now, but in 2, 3, 4 years down the road.
And like the whole country's like sentiments are very high and united to support the
Right.
government right
Correct.
now
Correct.
in its recovery action. So tell me, of course, that they revoked the Indus Water Treaty also. I want to know from you your comments.
Well, right now, still the government is in a discussion and in the meeting, and they are kind of exploring different options, but they don't have they have very limited options right now. They cannot attack because Pakistan is ready for any kind of attack. So, I mean, of course, we can prevail in attack because we are stronger than them, but both sides will have some kind of casualties again. And we don't. I mean, we should not start the war lightly, because unless we all are ready to do that, because war is easy to start, but then there is no and end is unpredictable. As you can see in the Ukraine and Russia, Russia thought that in 1 month they will take over Ukraine and come back, but now it's 2.5 years and nothing happened, and still Kyiv is still free. Most of Ukraine is independent and free. So it's very difficult to, and millions of people died, and millions of people displaced from Ukraine to Poland and other part of the European countries. So many Russians died. So it's not easy to have war. So they have to figure it out some other way. Mainly the diplomatic way. Of course, this Sindhu River treaty suspended, but that again is not very practical to put in action, because how can you tame the river? It's a huge river, right, and flowing many miles.
Right.
So it's difficult unless you put the dam. But it cannot be built within a year or two. It takes 10 years to build.
Right.
So all this thing is not practical. Of course, it's a good symbolic protest, but it has to have diplomatic relations with both the country to each other, and that's the only way you can have peace there.
So what do you think there should be any additional strategies? That
Additional
Indian,
strategy,
government should
and
adopt?
both the countries they have to tone down the kind of religious base, all the discussion, and because if you do religious base, it's very difficult to tone it down.
So, all right, moving on from this, let's go to the Canadian elections. So, tell us, what does it mean for Canada, Trump, and even US tariffs?
Well, Canada is going to stay as a Canada, because Canada is not going to merge to the USA or all those things. That's all rhetoric and it has no meaning to it. But the tariff, of course, Canada and USA has big business or big trade, and there will be some kind of tariff on Canadian goods which coming to the USA. Not 25%, maybe 10% or 7% or whatever. But there will be, because USA has to have some fair trade deal with all the countries. Otherwise, it's not good for USA.
And the new government is coming in
Right.
Canada. So tell me, how does it impact our relationship, US relationship with Canada?
No, they can politically right now they can say whatever they want to say, or take the posture they want to say. But Canada has no choice but to have good relations with the USA, because USA is such a large country, such a large economy as compared to Canada. And Canada has, literally, USA is defending Canada. Canadian security depends on USA, even though it's not part of the USA, but it's a next neighbor to USA, right? So USA is bound to protect Canada in case of some other problem,
And let's, of course, talk about President Trump right now. His 100 days are over, and he has gotten an approval rating of 41%, which is very like lowest for any like newly elected president to have. So tell me, what is your forecast of, what should we expect next?
Well, I think that popularity will go up because see what happens is because he took a lot of executive or actions, and he took so many these tariff things so aggressively. But in his in their administration opinion, unless you start with the aggressive tariff posturing, nobody will come and talk to you. So, in order to make people to come to talk to you, you have to shake it up everything a little bit, and that's what he did. But common people, people those who are not really well versed with what's going on, they only worry about price of the eggs and price of milk, and therefore the popularity. If you take the survey, popularity always comes low, but that doesn't mean much for the Trump, President Trump, because it's only 100 days and still he has 3.5 years to go, and he doesn't have to run on a second next more elections. So he can do whatever he thinks the right thing to do, and I think in a way it's a good, in a way it's bad, because in a way bad because he is very aggressive way he's doing it, but good because he can get it done what is good for country in his opinion.
But, talking about even the prices, hike and everything, don't you think it's very important for him to have the right kind of prices for like a common man to afford
No,
things?
but I mean, what they're thinking is that, see, even the prices are rising kind of on the news rather than real. Still tariff is same. There's no change in the tariff right now. And still price is rising, right? So it means people, the businesses are raising their prices only on the news, not on the facts.
Right.
In a way, so I think in short-term rise in the price is probably not bad if there is a long-term good solution for the country. And number two, I mean, according to their Trump administration, they are saying that look at the oil price right now is the lowest price in last so many years. Dollar is a little weaker, and interest rate is going down, and then Fed may cut the rate next month. So Trump administration itself is going to reform the tax income taxes. So all those things put together, rise in the short-term rise in the prices should not affect anybody.
But do you think these tariffs are going to take place soon or no?
No, it takes time because it's always very complicated. So usually this kind of, I mean, this is not first time USA is talking about tariff. Even Biden administration did the same thing, but in a low profile way. And it takes time. Usually it takes about 9 months, 9 to 1 year time to sort it out, all the tariff with the different countries.
Okay, so it's still an iffy, I guess.
Yeah, so the sky is not falling, in short, It's short term, you may end up, because there are business people, you can control them. Like today, Amazon is declared that they will tag prices with the inflation price. They will mention inflation price in the price. So that's political move because Amazon doesn't like Trump administration.
So anyway, let's talk about Putin. He has announced a 3-day ceasefire. So tell me, is this like enough and a step towards peace?
I think it's not enough, but it's a step towards the peace. Whatever ceasefire happens is always good because that always leads to another ceasefire and then another ceasefire, and that's the only way to end this game and war. Because but only thing is both the party has to keep in mind that they cannot have Russia cannot have what they've won. And completely, and Ukraine cannot have what they had before Russia invasion. So they have to come up in between somewhere to give and take thing, and then ceasefire will happen. Because if there is no ceasefire, then Ukraine has no way to fight.
Right.
So what is good about it?
All right, so let's move on to our rapid fire round. And I have this first question from Sharmila. And she is wanting to know that these days, a lot of anti-protest is going on against Islam. Do you think by protesting against Islam, it is protesting against Pakistan, yes or no?
No.
Okay. Summer wants to know, in case of India-Pak war, do you think China will join Pakistan in the war?
Most likely, because they have treaty between them, you know.
Okay. And there is another question from Ashok, and he is asking, how much do you think USA is supporting India against terrorism?
I think USA has interest in supporting India or any other country against terrorism, because if USA cannot do it, because USA knows that any country's well-being is to fight terrorism. But again, it all depends upon the definition of terrorism too. So we don't know. So, but I think USA always supports against the terrorism for any country.
All right. And this question is from me to you. You know, since there is a lot going on right now in and around the world, I want you to just say like a few words to people so that they can live their life in peace and harmony every day.
Well, I mean, dear friends, I mean, I'm sure you are right that a lot of things are going around. You don't know what is right, what is wrong. Then there is a big terrorist attack in Kashmir, our home country. So we all get upset about it. And still government thinking about option, they cannot decide which option to go to. It's almost 10 days now. So all this thing, it's kind of sometimes very stressful situation for the common people. But I think government always, this kind of situation, government always takes some time. They always discuss and entertain diplomatic solution to the problem. And I think it's a great idea to do that. And I think I would say that even they should convene the parliament and let the parliament members should also give some input to this thing. Because after all, of course, government is elected by people, but other half of the parliament is also elected by people. And so everybody has to have say in it. And always when you take a more opinion and keep everybody together and do the decision, then it's very good decision. And I would say that in general that you should not worry. Our government is very strong and very powerful and very kind of wiser, and that's why they will, whatever decision they will make, it will be a good decision for the country.
All right. And, you know, before we say goodbye, I want to say it out to everybody. Thank everybody for sending us these questions. And, you know, in case you also have a question and you haven't sent it to us till now, you can always do so. You can send it to us at pia@itvgold.com. So what else do you want to say in there?
Well, the only thing I would say that terrorist attack happened in India. It was very shocking, very horrible, should not have happened. And now it happened, so we must make sure that again it does not get repeated in near future or even any time in the future, not only in the Kashmir but anywhere in the country. And that's the way it should be. And I'm sure government will take care of that. After saying that, I would like to say God bless those victims who died in that terrorism, as well as God bless people who really injured there. And I would like to say that God bless India, and God bless Indian American, and God bless America.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you.